Today I'm going to cook traditional goat curry. And also I'm going to cook string hoppers, which is idiyappam, sodi, using it's a creamy, milky gravy curry with goat bones in it, and I do have some good fish to fry as well. First, we'll start cooking the goat and goat curry. So traditionally, we get fresh goats, right? It's killed on the same day, and the goat which comes freshly will have lots of fat, and that fat's got lots of flavor as well. But the goat that I buy here from the local butcher doesn't have that same level of fat, so we will not have the same flavor of fat. So I have to do a little bit of a twist to get that kind of flavor. And into the fat, I'm going to cook the oil and maybe a little touch of ghee to give that flavor as well. So that is the twist that I will be putting into the traditional cooking. So I know that people will be watching and think, oh no, we don't put the ghee and things like that. But see, we don't get the same goat that I can get in Jaffna or anywhere in Sri Lanka or even in South India. We go there, we can get a fresh goat. So let me see what are the ingredients required and how I'm going to cook that today. So, any meat curry in Sri Lanka, most important thing is this ramba leaf. Ramba leaf we have, curry leaves, onions, and Sri Lankan food. There's no way that we can cook without the coconut oil, coconut cream. So that's coconut cream is there. Curry powder, fennel seeds, good goat curry, lime, green chilies, oil, salt, and we have the spices to give good flavor. That's cloves, cardamom, and cinnamon. So anyway, I'll start cooking so you guys can see there are a couple of different stages of cooking. First I'll cook the meat, and later on I'll freshly roast some of the spices here and make them powder it and straight away and then put. The difference that you can see here is we don't put garlic or ginger or anything when we're cooking the meat, because these meats are really fresh back home, so I try to replicate that kind of things. But the modern cooking, they do use garlic and ginger, so if you want to add, you can add that as well. But this is pretty much a traditional one. I'm trying to replicate that, so I'm not going to use it today in this recipe. So let me see. So as I said, I'm going to add some ghee as well. So that's the fat that I'm going to add the flavor. I know people might be saying, no, this is wrong, but try it and then tell me, because the ghee really adds some good flavor. So there's nothing wrong in trying new things, unless we try something else, we always come up with a good thing. But you might say it's not tradition, but I'm trying to replicate that. We don't have the fat of the meat, so I'm trying to put a bit more fat using that. So I'm going to add onions now. Cook a bit. So I'm going to add some green chilies. That's enough. And let the onions to cook a little bit before I add the other stuff. So onion is cooked. That's enough. I don't want it to cook too much. So I'm going to add the ramba and some curry leaves. I'll put more curry leaves later on. I'm going to roast them and grind them as well. And then I'm going to add the meat. Just stir a little bit. And I like to add a couple of teaspoons of curry powder in the oil. Because I said before in my video, because these are old, so add it in the oil, it will really release the flavor of the curry powder. So it's got up 2.5 teaspoons now. and I'll be adding a little more because the meat curries need to be really, really spicy here. So look at that, the color, it's a nice color. Because of that cooking in the oil, it is releasing that color and the flavor. I can already smell that. And now I'm going to add the meat. Meat goes in. Perfect. It's a goat meat. It won't lose too much of water or oil, or the fat. It's just got a very less amount of fat, so that's why I added the oil and the ghee. So let this cook slowly. So I'm going to cover this and let it cook in a medium flame. You don't want to burn too much, so it's medium flame is probably the best way to go. Yep, it's cooking. Oh, look at that. It's releasing the juices from the meat. Looks so good. So I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk now. And if I need it, I can add more later on. Because the cream I use is a really thick cream. Back in Sri Lanka, they'll do the second or third milk from the coconut. So I'm going to add a little bit. It's a quarter of the cup. Yep. I'm just going to add some hot water as well. Just a little bit. That's enough. And if I need it, I can add later on always. Mix it now and leave that to cook again. Wow, look at that. I can smell that. The goat's so good. It's quite fresh goat. It's probably killed only last week, so probably 3 to 4 days old, which is considered as fresh here, so I'm happy to consider that as a fresh as well. Look at that, it's cooking really nicely. Goat, it takes time to cook. I'll be cooking this for an hour, so I'm going to add salt. I added a little bit of salt when I was cooking the onions, so I'm not going to add too much now. I think that should be fine. Later on I can add it, I'll taste it and add it. And also I'm going to add a little bit more curry powder. I can't see the color that's coming what I wanted it. I wanted really goat meat to be a bit more spicy, so I think I've already added 4-5 teaspoons, and that should be enough. I don't want to kill myself. Nah, I'm just kidding. Chili is good. Chili is good for the metabolism, so food will digest well. Look at that. Look at the color. That's nice, beautiful. I'm just going to test for the salt to see how the salt. Perfect, perfect. Okay, let this to cook in a medium heat for another 40 minutes. Perfect. Okay, I'm going to dry roast the ingredients. Fennel seeds, curry leaves, cinnamon, cardamom and cloves. And then I'll grind them and add them once the meat is cooked. So this is similar that I did for the chicken as well. So this is good. You can see the color has changed. That's what I was looking for. And now time to grind this. So it's not just punching it, you got to grind it nice and smooth. So because it is already cooked and it's like nice in a crispiness form. So it's, look at that, it's coming up so good. I can just feel the smell so good. This will give that extra flavor and the kick to the goat curry. Look at that. So goat looks like it's cooked. I'm going to add a thick coconut cream. And another teaspoon. And now I'm going to let this to cook and let the oil to ooze out of it. And once it is done, I will add the grinded spices and add the lime, and that will be it. So we've got to wait for another 15-20 minutes. Let's see how it's going to go. Okay, so I'm going to add the spices. And I've added a bit more earlier as well. And time to add the lemon juice as well, squeezed lime juice, so we don't use lemon in Sri Lanka. And that's done. Time to switch off it.